99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
It was why we sang and danced in the night, why we lit fires that burned through the night, why we chose a flag colored in freedom, for now we would be kings in this our kingdom. But our first head of state was Igbo, and the next, though a soldier, also Igbo. Then Angas ruled, followed by Hausa, and then came the turn of Yoruba. Then Hausa came back for a term cut short, when power was taken by an Hausa gunshot. Then Quadry claimed his turn to rule, but a mandate stolen was his downfall. Then Kanuri came, and it's quite probable that he'll still be ruling if not for that apple. Then Yoruba returned, not once, but twice. Then Hausa returned, but died in peace. Then he left us a while to worry and wonder. When it was over, Ijo had power, and after him came that titanic shift. And now we can see that Hausa is back, leaving me with this troublesome thought: where in all this is my own president? For where I was born is not where I'm from, and where I'm from is not my home. So when the tribes gather, I often wonder, who will I fight when you're both my brothers? Nobody asked when we were children, before we play, are you a Muslim? We shared a space that nobody claimed, but now you ask me to choose a side. When we were students, nobody asked if North and South could share a desk, if East and West could study together, but now you tell me that I'm a stranger. Stranger, yes, to these ways of thinking that tribe is everything. The Niger and Benue, they meet in my hand. I'm not an indigene, but this is my land. And this is my language, I speak nothing else. My home is here, I know nothing else. My tribe is my nation, I am nothing else. And this is my country, I have nowhere else. And so, though people are quick to assure me, to tell me this country I live in is free, deep in my heart, I know that freedom, my freedom, is yet to come. When no one will question my origin, when no one will call me a non-indigene, when no one will kill me because of my faith, when no one will cheat me because of my state, when my state will be wherever I live and will change whenever I choose to move, the day I find not a Nigerian president, but that a Nigerian is finally president. And so, while the flag of ethnicity still flutters over this land of two shining rivers, and the tribes take their turn to misgovern my country, I look to the future, for I'm not yet free.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. Information is a source of development. Stay tuned.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
And we are the nation's number one talk station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're broadcasting live from Etimi and Crescent Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. How are you, Lagos? How are you today? It's Thursday, right? And it's the last day of the month of September, which means that we are moving into the last quarter of the year by tomorrow. And this morning we had something very amazing. We did an open mic at 5 a.m. this morning. I loved it. So a lot of people are telling me that we should continue with the open mic thingy. Maybe we'll do that every Thursday. Maybe we'll move it to Friday, right? We'll do open mic on Friday. I'll tell you more to do it on Friday morning. Because, there's a lot of things happening in this country, and, we have to talk about them. If you're watching on Facebook, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to know that you're there. If you're on YouTube, you're welcome as well. If you're in the diaspora and you'd like to join the conversation this morning, please feel free. We're using the WhatsApp, the Skype. You can call us via Skype. Thanks to those that always call us from the diaspora. WhatsApp is also there for you to be a part of the show. I'm Sheriff Quadry. This morning we're talking malaria, something that really, really bothers me a lot. The World Health Organization, WHO, estimates that over 1 million children worldwide lose their mothers annually. And the children who lose their mothers are 10 times more likely to die prematurely. 10 times more likely to die. Now, this shows that countries with high maternal mortality ratios also record high infant and child mortality rates as well. This is according to the WHO. Now, according to a United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, report, now, some of the major causes of high MMR in Nigeria include hemorrhage, obstructed labor, malaria, and complicated abortions. The malaria is one of the most severe public health problems worldwide, no doubt about it. In fact, in many countries affected by malaria, it is a leading cause of illness and death. especially the developing countries. And Nigeria is just right there in the front. According to the World Health Organization again, the WHO Africa region in 2019 said, and I quote, malaria was home to, Africa rather, was home to 94% of malaria cases and deaths. Now that is, to me, it's disheartening. Now, let's come to Nigeria. The effect of malaria on maternal mortality rates in Nigeria still remains one of the major public health challenges. According to the 2020 World Malaria Report, Nigeria had the highest number of global malaria cases. Let me put it very direct to you. 27%. 27% of global malaria cases in 2019. Nigeria accounted for the highest number of deaths, 23% of global malaria deaths. What did we do? I mean, what is going on? I don't understand it. See, at this point, I'm going to introduce my guest, who you've heard her sweet voice. Ochuko Keyamo-Onyige is here. Ochuko is the director, Corporate Alliance on malaria in Africa. Am I correct?
You're correct.
Ochuko, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
How was your night, by the way?
It was great. Yes.
You look well rested.
Not really. I woke up super early just to beat the traffic to get here. Yes. But I think I'm good. Yes.
Let me ask a very cheesy question. Do you still have to contend with mosquitoes?
Sure. Let me give a recent example.
Yeah.
My husband, as I speak, is being treated of malaria. For the past 2 days, he has been down. And that's 2 days lost of productivity.
That's right.
Due to malaria.
That's right.
So it's real. What we're talking about is real, though the impact is more on children and women because of their immunity. But you and I, everyday Nigerians, are also prone to malaria. They are at risk of malaria.
I'm going to support that because my assistant, Zainab, is currently off work because her baby came down with malaria. She was in the hospital all through yesterday. The test came out and the baby, a few months old, diagnosed with malaria. She's undergoing some treatments right now, and it's quite sad when at this age we're still talking about. Please tell me, Ochuko, tell me about what are we looking at? What kind of impact are we looking at? Malaria impact. What are we looking at? What is it exactly?
So you've mentioned a number of the statistics already.
Right.
But I'll just add to what you just said. So malaria, let me start from what malaria is. Yeah. Malaria is a disease that is caused by a Plasmodium parasite transmitted to humans via through the female Anopheles mosquito. And as you've mentioned already, in 2019, WHO World Malaria Report recorded that we had about 229 million cases worldwide of malaria, and then that led to about 409,000 deaths globally. And you've already mentioned that about 23% of that number, actually it's contributed by Nigeria. That's 1 in 4 person that has malaria lives in Nigeria, and 67% of that number are children under 5. As we speak, every 2 minutes a child dies of malaria.
My word.
That's how bad it is. That is, let me translate it to numbers, because it's like when we talk about percentage, people don't get the gravity of the challenge. That's about 705,000 deaths annually. My word. Yes, or daily of children dying of malaria. So it's not something that we should joke with. Maybe I should narrate this. Your cousin is lucky that a baby is still breathing and alive. Yeah. We had an episode of a child that died in Abuja recently in August. She was like 8 years old. The problem was she was not properly diagnosed on time, and she was asymptomatic, that the symptoms were showing. So there was no... They couldn't tell it was malaria until it was at the latter end, the last stage of the disease, and she ended up dying of the disease. So it's not something that we should joke about. It kills as we speak, and we have to do something about it.
Listen, I want to get people in on this conversation as early as possible. I want to hear people's struggles with malaria, and I want them to share this so that we can go along together in discussing this scourge that has been with us for years now, unending. In fact, there was a report just recently by the WHO that the malaria parasite is getting used to the current treatment that we have right now, and to me that is, if you are not scared of anything before, even COVID, if you're not scared of COVID before, you should be scared of this one. That the current treatment that you just go and pick up at the chemist or the pharmacy shop now, that treatment may not work anymore because the parasite is adapting to it and it's making it quite difficult. Now, let's look at management of this issue, because a lot of people, between you and me, okay, sorry, so people are listening to us, so it's not between you and me anymore. People tend to resort to self-help, self-medication.
I'm glad you're bringing that up.
When it comes to malaria treatment. Talk to me about this.
I'm glad you mentioned the resistance of the parasites to our current medication, which is the one that's recommended by WHO is artemisinin combination therapy, and that's what we've been using over the years. And it was recently seen that we are getting resistance to this medication, and that's due to our behavior, the things we do. You just mentioned a typical Nigerian feeling feverish or fatigue or chills or something, we just walk to a chemist. We call them patent pharmacy shops, and they just walk in there, and they may not even tell the pharmacist what they feel, the symptoms they're having. They just go ahead and get the medication. Yes, and that has led to resistance over time, and so we need to stop this. In addition to what we do in our, and we also need to take care of our environment.
Right.
Yes. Right. The environments that we live in the tropical society that we are, actually with a lot of water and swampy areas around, actually give room for breeding of the mosquitoes. And so we need to be able to, drain our gutters very well, clean our environments, ensure that we're surrounding us as clean, and that would help us to manage it to a point. But I would say managing of malaria is multi-sector, is a multifaceted, approach. So in pregnancy, we're talking about malaria in women and children, right? We've mentioned children. Malaria in pregnancy can lead to anemia. It can lead to preterm labor. It can lead to a stillbirth, and it can even lead to the death of the child. So it's very fatal for maternal and neonatal and neonatals. So it's very, very fatal. So what WHO has recommended is there are 3 strategies that have been recommended by WHO. One is usage of bed nets, sleeping under ITN, insecticidal treated bed nets. Yes. 2 is prompt diagnosis and treatment, which is critical. The earlier you diagnose it and treat it with the right medication is important, but we need to stress, test before treatment.
Right.
Not going to one nearby pharmacy and trying to get a medication off the counter. You need to test before treatment. There are rapid diagnostic tests that you can actually, use and write in time. Within less than a few minutes, you have the results.
What are those? What are the rapid diagnostics? What does that mean?
So a rapid diagnostic test is a test kit that have been developed, manufactured for different diseases. You have it for HIV. You have it for other diseases, and including malaria.
That's right.
And so it's something that, due to the challenges we're having with microscopy, if you want to do a microscopy test, that would take a long time, like hours waiting, and it depends on the lab itself. But with a rapid diagnostic test, it's something you can easily do, and within an hour or less, you get the results.
And it's accessible to the people?
It's in most hospitals, and it's in most pharmacy. In fact, most organizations are like the USAIDs, a number of NGOs have donated it for free to these institutions so patients can easily access it. And when you have a patient walk into your facility, you should test before treatment. Yes, that is what is recommended.
Please talk to me about the impact of poverty in managing malaria. Then we'll come to maternal and child mortality in detail. Because, listen, Ochuko, people fall ill, but then they don't have the resources to access treatment. What's the impact of this on malaria treatment?
Is huge. So malaria itself is a cause of poverty. The disease and the cost of treatment has trapped families in a cycle of, I would say, illness, suffering, and poverty. And that aside, it's also that translates to the impacts on the economy,
right?
And even businesses, like you mentioned. You have somebody that
that's right.
causing, and my husband, as I said, is at home due to malaria. So it actually impacts on businesses. So it's a disease that causes poverty, and it's sad and it's a disease that affects those that are poor. I would say it's a disease more of because if you're sick, like you mentioned, you don't have access to treatment, you don't have access to diagnosis and all of that, and it impacts on your health. But that is why a number of organizations are coming together with the government to support what the government is doing, and so we can provide what the commodities and the tools that are needed at that level, at the primary healthcare level. So those at that level will be able to access the tools that is needed.
I'm glad you mentioned a number of organizations, because and you said something earlier that really struck me, like nobody can do it alone. It's a collective effort that can eradicate malaria. But I'm going to take you on organizations coming in together. The Corporate Alliance on Malaria in Africa is one of such organizations that is saying that, look, we must stamp out malaria from Africa. We're losing a lot of our children, our babies, and our mothers, our adults, to malaria. Tell us about this initiative, really.
Thank you. So the Corporate Alliance in Malaria in Africa is called KAMA. Is an initiative of GBC Health, which is the Global Business Coalition for Health, an NGO based in New York. And it was formed years ago by a number of companies that have seen the impact of malaria on their employees and their bottom line, their business in general.
It's affecting their business.
Exactly. It's affecting their business. So they've decided to come together. Can we do something to support what the government is doing so we can bring down the burden of malaria? And that was what led to the birth of KAMA. So there are a number of companies that within the organization. If you want me to call them, I can mention them.
Let's not mention them. If you are going to pay me, let's not mention them. tell me exactly what these companies are doing.
Okay, so the KAMA is, like I mentioned, is an alliance of companies coming together to fight malaria. And
how are they helping exactly?
The foster partnerships, strategic partnership to bring malaria to an end. They support governments in endemic countries, align with their efforts in countries, bridge the gap on what that is in countries to ensure that we achieve our desired goal and whatever countries that we're working in. So we work in endemic countries like Nigeria, DRC Congo, Ghana, Angola, Kenya, Southern Africa, and a number of other countries. And we believe in fostering partnership. We believe in supporting efforts, multi-sectoral efforts to bring malaria to an end. And so recently, because of the belief and what we're trying to do, we launched an initiative called the End Malaria Project.
The End Malaria Project.
Yes, that was earlier in 2021 during World Malaria Day, April 2021. And that was supported by a number of organizations, including the Ministry of Health, and a number of private sector organizations and multilateral organizations. The aim is a 3-year project to galvanize the resources and the capacity of the private sector to sustain malaria efforts. In times like this, understanding that we're in an era of COVID and the pandemic that is even impacting on other diseases, including malaria. We needed to do something to see, what can we do to sustain efforts in the fight against malaria. That is what we're doing. Let's go to break. When we return, I'm going to talk to you some more on the specifics of the End Malaria Project, what people need to know about it, and the information that would benefit the people about that project. Let's go to break. We'll be right back.
This This is an infomercial.
This is a public service announcement. Ongoing recruitment for an independent brand manager at an international company with the most history worldwide. Do you have a
Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
The nation's number one talk station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're back. It's Health Thursday. You know, every Thursday we discuss health, and this morning we're looking at malaria and how it affects maternal and child mortality in Nigeria. The stats are gory. They are disheartening. The numbers, I just couldn't go ahead with them because, listen, you know yourself. You can even prove it. In fact, let's do something. Tell us about your struggle with malaria. Tell us about your experience with malaria. 0700 993 993 993. And for the ladies, female only is 01 465 7190. I want to know exactly what you've been dealing with malaria wise. If you've dealt with it before, just your experience, basically, your real true life experience on malaria, we'd like to know this morning. The female only line is open right now. The male only line is also open. If you'd like to share yours via WhatsApp, you're free to do that as well. All I would just implore you to do is please be very brief about it so I can continue our conversation with Ochuko, our guest this morning. All right, and please turn off your radio when you're calling in. It's very important that you do that. Let's see our first caller that we've got here. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Welcome.
Sorry?
Yes, please. We can hear you.
Yes, so my name is Bioye from Yaba.
Welcome, Bioye.
Actually, I just took my last dose of malaria last night.
Oh.
I think this is my third time having it this year.
Wow.
Second or third, I don't know. But I have two questions for her. The first one is, can you get malaria without mosquito bites, or that's the only way? And the second one is, if you're AA, are you more susceptible to malaria? Like for me,
I'm guessing you're AA.
I've been hearing that. I don't know if it's true or not. That's basically my question.
All right, yeah. Thank you for calling. We'll attempt those. Let's speak with Stanley. Stanley is a first-time caller. Stanley, hi. Morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, please.
I'm happy calling Nigeria Info this morning.
Good to have you.
Yeah, in fact, to be sincere with you, I'm very grateful for what you people are discussing this morning, especially the statistics that the guest is saying.
Right.
My question is, I found out that whenever I work, my work engages me, that sometimes I work through the night.
Okay.
And then if I'm having symptoms and I work overnight till the following morning, I find out that what I term to be malaria gets worse. That is the symptoms I do have over malaria. And most times it doesn't take up to a month. I seek malaria more often than sometimes people at the work will continue to say, how long will you continue? Every time malaria. It really keeps me disturbing.
But have you gone for a checkup though? Because that's what is important.
I do. Whenever I go for a test, I do regularly, and I will be told sometimes it's always that I have malaria.
Oh.
Sometimes they say malaria, this is a parasite, something like that. It's regularly. Whenever I do go for tests, the result shows malaria parasite.
Okay, all right. We'll try and attempt that as well. Let's speak with Chris. Chris is going. Hi, Chris. Morning to you.
Yeah, Chief Quadry, good morning.
Morning to you.
I guess morning. Chief Quadry, my own case, 2 days ago, I went to my mechanic just to make sure and see what they are doing. I stay under the sun with them.
Okay.
Then after that, I have this malaria. So I want to find out from my God, staying under the sun, does it cause malaria? Because this is the second time now.
Okay. All right, Chris, thank you. Now let's put the three together. Let's start with staying under the sun.
Oh God, that's so funny. There are a lot of myths I would say around malaria.
Yeah.
And that's also tied to the first question around the lady that asked the question around transmission. How else can we get? Yeah. So it's similar. The only way you can get malaria is via a mosquito bite. Female Anopheles mosquito bite. There's no other way. So being under the sun does not give you malaria.
Right.
Probably you're fatigued and probably because of the weather you get tired and you're hungry or you needed to rest or something.
Or just stressed.
So, stressed. Yeah. So I would advise you rest at some point and just gather again your strength. But for sun cannot cause malaria. No, that's not possible.
The first caller also spoke about the AA.
Yes. So so a lot of studies have been done, And especially in children, it was found that children with genotype AA were more susceptible to malaria parasites.
Oh,
yes. So
I didn't know that.
Yes, so she's actually.
But I'm AA. I don't have malaria that often.
And maybe you're one of those that you take preventive measures and you're just favored, or one of the few that are not affected. But studies have been done and it's shown that those with A, yes, are more prone to. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So,
now I'm scared.
And I'm also in that category, but I don't fall ill of malaria often because I protect myself. And the other guy talked about walking at night.
Yes.
And if you walk at night, is recommended that you wear protective clothing, like things that will cover your hands and legs, and just keep away from mosquito bite at night. And you also, I think, I will also recommend that whenever it goes for checkup, it should test regularly and ensure that the parasite has cleared off its system. Completely, you know, because sometimes you're taking a medication.
Go for a complete treatment, a complete course.
And you have to comply, ensure that you take the dosage till the very end. If it's 3 days, 5 days, whatever it is, take it to the very end and ensure.
Because when people feel that they're getting better, they just
stop. And that is a problem. Non-compliance is a problem. So I would recommend you take your dosage as recommended by your doctor.
All right, we're going to take some more calls. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
My name is Adeve. I'm calling from Lagos.
Welcome, Adeze.
I just wanted to find out, I know she did mention that, people just go to the chemist stores and they buy drugs off the shelves.
Yeah.
Is it possible to control this? Because we all know abroad, you cannot just go to buy medication off the shelf.
Yeah.
How can we restrict this? Such that people can only go to those chemist stores with prescriptions. Can KAMA and other medical associations help, with this? Thank you.
That's a brilliant question, Adeze. Thank you for calling. I'm going to take Mohammed's call, then we put the two together. Mohammed, morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Yes, please.
There's something I used to notice about that. Whenever I have malaria, I don't used to take drugs 2-3 days.
And you'll feel better again.
The next one I will have will be critical.
Yes, now.
The next one will be critical and the first one. But there was this last 2 months.
Yeah.
Everybody at home had malaria. It's only me. They use work kill me for house. I wonder maybe it's possible. I'm AS.
Okay.
So maybe it's possible for someone to be as naturally immune to the parasite. Thank you.
Mohammed, thank you. Mohammed wants to know if it's possible for someone, if there is some natural immunity to malaria parasite. I've heard that thing about AS2 before.
So for people that live in endemic countries, over time you build a level of immunity that can fight off the disease. But still, you can still come down with malaria.
It's not foolproof.
No, it's not foolproof. No, it's not. If it was foolproof, you and I shouldn't be having malaria anymore. Over time.
I mean, we grew up, we were born here, so
Yes. So it's not foolproof. So we advise that you take your medication.
Let's take Karina's call, then we'll come to the first call about. Yeah. Hello, Karina. Morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Yes, please.
And the doctor in the house. I want to say that I am AS.
Yeah.
And the last time I had malaria, I was about 9 years old, and for over 40 years, I've not gone down with malaria fever at all.
For about 9 years now?
Wow. No. I was 9 years old.
Oh, the last time you had malaria.
Wow.
I haven't had malaria for over 40 years.
Oh, wow. That's miraculous.
Yes, I would say that.
What do you think could be responsible for this, Karina?
I don't know. I used to brag. I used to say, see, any mosquito that bites me will die of malaria fever.
Maybe we should come check your sample, get your blood sample, and do some.
Okay, no problem.
You could just be the breakthrough that scientists are looking for right now. Karina, thank you for sharing your story with us.
Wow.
Yeah, the previous caller, Adeze, spoke about regulation.
Yeah.
What do you think can be done? Do you think that's a possibility?
That's, yes. Like I said, the challenges we have with malaria is multifaceted, and that is one of the problems we have. And over the years, we've been working with institutions like USAID. They're one of those organizations that are actually looking at regulation and training of these pharmacies at the patent medical stores, and also creating awareness to the public.
Right.
So there are different ways of going about it. While you're training the public health, the pharmacists and the public health practitioners there, you have to also create awareness, educating people on what they have to do when they fall ill or when they have symptoms.
Right.
And so a number of organizations are doing that. And even I know we have meetings with NAFDAC, which is the regulatory body in Nigeria. They're also looking at how they can put measures in place.
Yeah, and another thing I think we also need to talk more about how people can. We need to educate the populace about how they can identify fake drugs, because we have a very huge problem right now about fake drugs.
Yeah.
Fake drugs are everywhere. It's almost as though Nigeria is a dumping ground for fake drugs, and it's very important for people to know what to look out for, how to identify. Some people even go as far as Ochuko. Some people go as far as buying drugs that you have foreign languages that they use in this writing description.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you do that to yourself?
Yes.
Something that you can't even read.
So this, like I said, that is a problem that's been existing, and the likes of NAFDAC are working on curbing some of those challenges that we have, and we're also some of those pharmaceutical companies, names I can't mention, are also doing some things. I think you would have seen it. They put numbers, and so you can scratch the numbers,
secret code,
exactly,
to confirm the authenticity of the drug.
Exactly, and that is what they're doing, and that has helped and gone a long way to help. But we can do more in that area to ensure that that is called.
We sanitize that space.
Yes.
Let's take some more calls before I come to you. Oh wow, time is going. Let me come to you. This time will leave us behind.
It's interesting hearing from the public.
This time will leave us behind, Jerry. Now, before the break, I was. See, it's now that all of them are outside.
Calling. You can take a few more calls.
Okay, let's take a few more calls. Hello, good morning to you.
Morning.
Yes, please. Where with you?
Yes, I want to say that our Nigerian people are not trying at all. In terms of cleanliness in the area.
In terms of cleanliness.
Yes. We don't. We are not into fumigation. We don't fumigate anything. Everywhere is dirty, and all these things contribute to a lot of mosquitoes.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Causing malaria up and down.
I agree.
People.
I agree.
I've been privileged to be somewhere in Malaysia sometime.
Okay.
Every week, these people always, maybe twice in a week, we get everywhere with tractors. You can even sleep in your house without closing the doors. Nothing like mosquitoes.
Wow.
So I don't know why Nigerians are so self-centered. Everybody's always interested in putting money in his pocket. They don't care about the public.
Thank
you.
you.
They like to care about the people.
That's right. I agree with you totally. I think we need to do more. Thank you for calling. I think we need to do more, Chico, in taking care of our environment. Really, a lot of people just take a lot of things for granted.
Yeah,
and they don't know that what you put in the environment, what the environment gives back to you.
Yeah, I've always said that you can't take away the environment. Affects the health of everyone.
That's right.
And so in terms of strategies that have been put in place or that will be put in place.
Yeah.
I know that in Nigerian government, Ministry of Health they have a robust strategy which includes vector control, prevention, and that is something that we should do. Which includes usage of bed nets and fumigation, like this guy just mentioned, and usage of indoor respirator spray.
At some point, I know that they're giving out free mosquito-treated nets to pregnant women, to people. Do they still do that thing?
They still do that, like campaigns in every state, in different states, and different organizations, in addition to what.
Because I know that time some people even have 2-3 nets.
Different organizations, they give that out freely. But one challenge we've had is usage beyond just access to bed nets.
Don't just get it. Use it.
People are having challenges using the bed nets due to a number of reasons, depending on what location you are in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And for those in the north, they complain of the heat. And so that is also one problem. But we're doing what we can on our part as an organization, in collaboration with different organizations to create awareness around usage of bed nets and the importance of using it,
indeed.
Especially for women and children.
Let me talk to you about what Kama is doing, the specific details of the End Malaria Project. What are the actions that you're doing? Because I'm really interested, and I want my people to know as well what you're doing.
Okay, so like I mentioned, it's a 3-year project that is aimed to galvanize the private sector resources to sustain malaria efforts in Africa. And we're starting with Nigeria for obvious reasons because of the burden. Over 2-3 years, we're going to scale up to other African countries. And the interventions have been made to align with WHO and the Ministry of Health and strategy for the country. And that includes the ABCD strategy. So A, which is for awareness creation, like we've mentioned.
That's what we're
people
doing
need
now.
to be aware, yes, and that's what we're doing now. 2, the B is for bite prevention, which includes vector control, usage of bed nets, and indoor residue spray, and even fumigation, like that guy mentioned. And then C is usage of chemo prophylaxis. So it's recommended for women, pregnant women. There's what we call IPTP, intermittent preventive treatment for women in pregnancy. And it's recommended that pregnant women take that like 3 times in their, pregnancy.
During the course of the pregnancy.
During the course of the pregnancy.
Their physician would know how to do that.
And then the D is for diagnosis and then treatment, which is very important. So interventions are cutting across these 4 areas to ensure that we cover we reduce the burden of malaria in Nigeria and other African countries where we'll be focused on over time.
Indeed.
And the aim is to reduce the burden of malaria in endemic communities by 70%.
70%?
Yes.
Is there a duration for this?
3 years. So
3
it's
years.
a 3 years project.
By 70%?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's big.
I know, that's huge. That's huge. And so we are not doing it across the all states of the federation. We are focusing on high burden states and communities. And so there was a stratification that was done by WHO recently that actually stratified different states into their endemicity, and so you can tell what state is more endemic and what interventions that you should carry out in those states. And we're actually working with those guidelines.
Fantastic. I mean, when when we started, you talked about some organizations abroad that have come together, and I'm wondering, what are the organizations in Nigeria doing? I mean, don't we have private sector in Nigeria? What's their own contribution? Are they involved in this?
They are very much involved in this. So Kama is a coalition of different organizations from different sectors, from different geographies, which includes multinationals and local businesses as well.
Local.
So our local businesses
they've
stepped up. I'm not mentioning their names.
You are going to pay me money.
I'm not mentioning it, but they've stepped up and they're doing very well. And they've understood that this is something that we have to fight, and they're working with us to do that.
I mean, I have to give them applause because I've always thought that our local businesses don't do enough in giving back to the society. I'm glad to hear this from you, Ochuko, this morning, that they are actually involved in trying to eradicate malaria. We have a couple more minutes to go. I can squeeze in a call, then take some messages, then come back to you on other solution areas that you feel that we can look at in trying to eradicate malaria. Let's see who is on this line. Hello, good morning to you. Yes, good morning to you. Yes, good morning to you.
I want to contribute to you that one can do to eradicate malaria, because the cause of malaria is in the artificial food.
Is in the what?
It's artificial food.
But you know that you are not saying the right thing. I don't even know the word to use for you. But how can you say that the cause of malaria is in artificial food?
It's inside artificial food. If you stop eating artificial food, anybody when they sick malaria, eat natural food for 1 month, can never get malaria.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your thought. Madam Ife is here. Let's speak with her. Good morning to you.
Sorry, good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Ochuko.
Good morning.
Somebody like me, I'm AA. And I've lived in 2 sides of this Lagos, the city and the suburb. When I was living in Aguda, man, every 2 months I must treat malaria. Because there is a gutter in front of the house, nobody cleans it, local government does not bother. So, at least if we get gutters for us, every 2 months I'll be taking a malaria injection. But when I came to the suburb, it reduced drastically, at least 90%. But what I noticed, the drainage here, man, if it rains, no larva, no egg will come to production. The storm will pick everything on the road, inside the drainage, back to a bigger drainage, very big drainage. And it's been like that. So I hardly treat malaria. And two, I live at the 2-story building. I'm at the top.
Okay.
When I see mosquito in my apartment, I'll say, I think this one they fine. Of course, I will flit it. And that's it. Maybe for another 6 months, I will not say such thing. So I still believe that the local government should take charge of our drainages and kill these mosquitoes.
Right.
And their larvae, their eggs, it will not germinate. It will, because everybody in a big man now. I mean, won't go clean gutter. But yeah, they do it, and at the same time, natural things like rain help us to clean our drainages. Good morning.
And Ify, thank you. Thank you for calling. Appreciate it. We're going to go to break, our final break. When we return, we'll quickly look at the other solution areas before we call it a morning today. Stay with us here on Nigeria Info 99.3. Just a quick break, and we'll be right back.
This is an infomercial.
Hey people, I have some really good information from Lotus Bank. Lotus Bank is designed to ease your financial burdens. You can access these funds by applying to a Lotus Bank Access to Finance. Yes, that's right. You can also access up to 70% of your children's school fees and set limit per child with flexible payment of 3 to 12 months. Subject to the level of education with a competitive markup rate. Lotus Bank is a non-internet Nigerian bank deeply rooted in the ethical banking and committed to deepening financial inclusion and burdening the array of non-interest products available to the banked, unbanked, and unbanked population. This is not all. They also provide profitable and comfortable services that include free debit card, personalized account number, transparency, non-hidden charges, zero account maintenance fees, and so much more. You can also walk into any of the 5 Lotus Bank branches globally. Ademola Adetokunbo Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. Idumagbo Branch, Lagos Island. Allen Avenue Branch, Ikeja, Lagos, and Oshodi, DSC. And in Abuja, you have the Abuja Liaison Office, FCT Abuja. You can also open a Lotus Bank account personally with your phone using the USSD code by simply dialing *504 *5045# on your mobile device, or open an account online in 2 minutes or less on the ibank.lotusbank.com.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Sunshine makes the day better, meal times better, weekends better, chill times better, dates better, barbecues, beach parties, and even one bears better. Sunshine makes every bit better.
Lipton iced tea, made from fresh tea leaves, soaked in hours of sunshine, and together with juicy fruit flavors, give you that deliciously refreshing taste. Top better life with sunshine in a bottle. Available in peach and lemon flavors. Lipton iced tea, deliciously refreshing.
Our oil walkathon is back. In commemoration of this year's World Heart Day, join us for the Power Oil Walk Heart On, starting at the Ikoyi Link Bridge and the Teslim Balogun Stadium at 6:30 a.m. on Saturday, the 2nd of October, 2021. Come out with your friends and family. Let's have some fun as lots of exciting activities, music, and refreshment awaits you. Listen to your heart. Let's walk together for our hearts. See you there.
Power oil, power oil.
As a partner who shares your ambition, we understand what it takes to break barriers and expand your business. That's why we're excited to introduce the Smart Business Loan from Standard Chartered Bank.
With the SC Smart Business Loan, you can get up to 20 million naira to expand your business. This is available to schools, manufacturers, retail and wholesale traders with no collateral needed. Smart Business Loan from Standard Chartered Bank is easily accessible. Simply contact your relationship manager or send an email to nigeriabb.products@sc.com or call 234-123-68475, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. workdays. To get started, visit www.sc.com/ng for more details. Standard Chartered Bank, here for good.
Take advantage of the Tech Anniversary Sale from the 1st to the 8th of October 2021. Enjoy special deals of up to 75% off on a wide array of genuine tech and lifestyle products, plus freebies for specific purchases. The Tech Anniversary Sale is live at the Tech Experience Center, 13 Idowu Mountains, VI, Lagos. You don't want to miss out. Call 0904-078-8016 for more. Tech Experience Center, where technologies come alive.
When Fumi found her glow sim after months of searching, she quickly recharged and the unexpected started happening. Every time she recharges, she gets knocked out with 22 times bonus.
Oh, yeah, sorry now. Oh, please, I can't keep up.
It's a glow thing because you get knocked out with 22 times bonus on every recharge. Be like Fumi, dial *777# today to subscribe.
Glow Unlimited.
Mr. John, my brother, please let me give you 50% down payment for this car and pay the balance over 3 months.
Come on, why are you talking like this? You know I am selling this car to pay my children's school fees, and 50% payment will not cover it.
I understand, my brother, but cash is really tight now under this economy.
Hey, Mr. John, what are you doing here? My friend, I am trying to sell my car because I need some cash to pay off my children's school fees, and the buyer is offering only 50% down payment. Then you need Cash Drive. With Cash Drive, you can either choose to sell your car and get paid 100% instantly, or even choose to borrow using your car as collateral and still drive it. Whatever you choose, you get the cash you need today.
What?
Yes, to sell your car and get paid instantly, or borrow using your car as collateral. Visit www.cashdrive.co or call 0122-99954 or WhatsApp 0817-555-6789. Cash Drive Instant Loans. We are on your side.
Charles! Yes, mommy? Go and bring 2 sachets of hypo bleach for me. Why 2? Because I'm using one to soak the whites and using one to kill all the germs. But I can't see any germs here. They are so tiny you can't see them. But they are there. And that is why I trust only hypo bleach to kill them all.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your household free of illness causing germs and viruses with the disinfecting power of Hypo Bleach.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number 1 station for talk. Let's talk.
So apparently we don't have that much time I thought we had, but we have to go now, Ochuko. If you can, let's have your last word. Maybe you'd like to end with the solutions.
Yeah, so I'll just say that we've already agreed that malaria is a multifaceted disease and needs a multi-dimensional approach. And you and I, we have a role to play. The government have their role to play. I would recommend that we strengthen our health system to be able to and shape policies that will even integrate malaria with other diseases like reproductive health, newborn, maternal health, and all that. We need a strong political will and increase of funds. We need innovation in the area of R&D and treatments and all of that. And then you and I, like I said, you can clean your environment, sleep under a bed net, not just having it, not just buying it, sleep under a bed net, and avoid self-medication, test before treatment. And I'm sure that that will go a long way to bring us to our desired goal of eradicating malaria.
Thank you. Ochuko Keyamo-Onyige joins us this morning. She's the Director, Corporate Alliance on Malaria in Africa. Thank you so much for joining us on the program today.
Thank you.
It's
so
a pleasure.
Much. I had fun.
Yeah, I had fun too. And please take care of yourselves. If you're joining us and you've listened to the show, you can watch the show again on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3, and also on YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's bring you the news. After the news, it'll be time to join Jimmy Disu on Daily Digest.
The headline news. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria.